again. It just seemed like heaven, so I did it. And do you remember back in the fall, we'll be together all day long? Do you remember us holding hands in each other's eyes we'd stare? Do you remember the time when we fell in love? Do you remember the time when we first met? Do you remember the time when we fell in love? Do you remember the time? Do you remember how we used to talk? You know, we'd stay on the phone at night till dawn. Do you remember all the things I said, like I love you so I'll never let you go? Do you remember back in the spring, every morning birds would sing? Do you remember those special times that just go on and on in the back of my mind? Do you remember the time when we first met? Do you remember the time when we fell in love? Do you remember the time? Those sweet memories always be dear to me. And girl, no matter what was said, I will never forget what we had. Do you remember the time when we fell in love? Remember the time? Do you remember the time when we fell in love? Do you remember the time? Remember my baby. Do you remember the time when we first met? Oh, remember the time when we fell in love? Do you remember the time? Remember. Oh, girl, remember the time when we remember the time.